Hey guys, that Mike Gamer and the House of Gaming here. I'm going to be looking at an in-depth look at Madden 17 franchise mode, guys. As you know, a lot of things will change this year, and it's very interesting to see. This is called the acquisitions part of Madden. So pretty much, it just shows you the trade block. It showed you your depth chart of what you have in that position. You can either trade for that player, you can say you're not interested in that player, or you can look at the player card. You can do this for every single position pretty much in the NFL, and you'll see the trade block on every single player. Now, you couldn't just go to the regular trade block and, just do what you did last year and every year in Madden. But as you can see, let's say I don't want A.J. McCarron. Bam, not interested. Now, he does not show up. So I do not have to worry about him. This is not only for, for trade block members. It's also for free agency. So you can actually look at free agency. Let's say I do want Stevie Johnson, though. I've always loved Stevie Johnson, so I want to get him on my team. Now, let me offer a 7th-round pick for him. And as you can see, it said the trade interest level, and it says that it's a bad value for a draft pick, not interested. So I'm going to have to offer a bit more in order to, actually get Stevie Johnson. So it's kind of interesting that they added this whole aspect of the game right here, how this part of it is a little bit different than last year. Of course, it's the same concept, it's just a different interface, which I definitely like this interface a lot better with, actually seeing the trade interest level and actually seeing the player value 1 out of 5 stars. Now, of course, I'm going to have to offer something better, so let me offer a 6th-round pick with that. And it looks like that they accepted it. So that means we did get Stevie Johnson added to the Baltimore Ravens. And I can do that with any other player I want to. And it's very cool to see this. You can't just trade a 7th-round pick for him, and that's it. Now, of course, there's a new feature, guys, practice squad. Now, when you have your practice squad, as you can see, Kenneth Dixon, you have up to 10 players. But remember, anyone can sign players from your practice squad whenever they want to. So if these players in your practice squad, these are pretty much the same idea as if they're in free agency, but you're actually looking at them. As you can see, I just signed Kenneth Dixon to my actual roster. And now I can, of course, go in here and look through and actually add someone else to my practice squad. There's practice squad players who are eligible, uneligible, all together. You can put any player you want on your practice squad. And if you want to, you can actually sign them to your active roster, or just put in your practice squad, and it's kind of like a watch list, If that player is doing good in your practice squad, you can add them to your roster, and it's really cool. But that also means that other teams can look at your practice squad and actually know who to, you're going after. Now, here's another idea, or another thing that's awesome. As you can see, I cannot sign C. Smith to week 3 because he says I'm not ready to negotiate yet. Your players will not sign with you week 1. You have to wait throughout the season because they want to see how they do, so they know how much to ask you for the contract. So that's the whole point of you can't just sign people week 1 now. You have to wait throughout the season. Also, as you can see, they actually have sayings like those. They'll tell you what the problem is. So let's say you offer them, you offer them a certain amount of money. For example, I actually offered a player later on, not in this video, you won't see it, but I offered, what was it? I think it was Brandon Williams. I offered him a great deal, right? And he actually said at the very top of the thing, he actually said, I love the contract. I love the length of the contract, like how many years it was. But he said, I want at least double, if not triple, the amount of money that you're offering. So just like that, I didn't want to sign him for that, but I know now that he told me, he wants double or triple. So I know how much he's going to want. I don't have to keep offering him a contract. Now, the only other difference is you cannot just keep offering the same, a different contract every single time. You have to wait a week apart. So, for example, it's kind of like real life. If you offer him a contract for $30 million, you have to wait till the next week in the franchise in order to offer him another contract. So it's kind of annoying with that aspect. You can't just offer him one time. You have to wait a week in order to offer him another contract. But in a way, it's also kind of, not that annoying. It's not like game-changing annoying, but it is pretty, not the most fun thing in the world to deal with, because especially when you have players that keep, over and over again pretty much just declining your contract. So it's kind of a neat feature. Definitely, the whole aspect of them telling you what they want and telling you why they decline your contract. But the waiting a week, I don't really like as much. Now, I'm just looking at all the other features, guys, to see if they're any different than last year's Madden, pretty much. Free agency, you now have the top 100 free agents. Instead of just saying all, it says top 100. That's pretty nice. You also have, the practice squad players you can sign to and everything like that. Trade block looks exactly the same, manual trade block. And, you could go where I had it before, or you could go to this trade block. Before, it just looks nicer because you get to see the players you have. Now, news is completely different. Now, news looks completely different, as you can see. News actually has a complete revamp of everything in the news area, and I definitely love this, how it looks. So, it definitely looks a lot nicer than it did before. It's kind of like a clean, now everything is like grouped together to talk about whatever you want to talk about. You don't have to, go through all this stuff. You can just scroll through, see what's new, see what's interesting, and everything like that. So it's definitely awesome to see that they did this. And again, you can just look at, new draft stories of new draft players that are coming out next year. And it's a lot more revamped. Now, stats are the same, of course. Pretty much a lot of these things are going to be the same because it just Madden over, a lot of the things we love from last year, they just keep from this year. And it's not like, there's that much needed to change because Madden's Madden. I mean, franchise mode was franchise mode, and the whole idea is it's going to be the same thing, but with a lot of different changes. So, anything you loved before most likely is going to be in this year. So just keep that in mind. I think everything else will probably be the same pretty much. Of course, we have to cut 2 players, so let's do that real fast. And the cutting players, just like the other screen, it's just like this. You just cut whatever players you want to. As you can see, I'll probably cut my worst players here, Tyler Farrow and the other guy. And as you can see, you do have recommendations. So if you do want to cut someone else, you can, but they recommend who you should cut based on how they're performing and how they're doing. See that this player does not meet our standards. Oh, we have plenty of depth at this player's position. That might be why they recommend you cut the guy. So that's definitely interesting to see they actually do that and everything like that. So as you can see, I do have a practice player signed right there, as you can see. And then let's see, what do we have next? So let's next set our season goal, guys. You can set your season goal whenever you want to, but remember, if you do set your season goal and you set it too high, you could get fired because of the fact that you're shooting too high when it comes to how much. The lowest you can set is 7 wins. The highest you can set is make it to the Super Bowl. But as you can see, very low risk of getting fired or very high risk of getting fired. So depending on what you do set is depending on how much of a chance you have of getting fired if you do not meet that goal. You have to meet that goal, guys. You have to remember that, and that's the biggest thing you have to remember. But anyway, guys, see you guys in the next video. Peace out. That Mutt Gamer, that House of Gaming. Peace out.